Hello and good morning. Welcome to my Ascension Messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson and I will be your guide for today. Just sorting out the chat bar with Zoom as per usual. So today we are going to have a discussion and a channeling about, well, my team wants to discuss this, so it's definitely going to be channeling, about time shifts that's going to occur. Yeah, and why? What's really going on? Hey, Janine. Hey, Debbie. Good to see you guys in the chat bar so so quickly. Okay. So we're going to talk about grounding new awareness, no longer resonating with the past, soul integration, challenging the status quo by moving into and creating what you desire, and accepting any huge changes as a part of your creation, which changes timelines, shifts your awareness. And we're going to get into a little bit of what really goes on with these shifts. Okay, so soul integration. I want to start off with that because many people are doing the shadow work and all of that sort of stuff. But what my team has been telling me is that there's another level of awareness that goes on with shadow work. Yes, shadow work, it like approaches all of those programmed realities that we've been stuck into in loops in. And it like really puts a shine on those programs so that, in your reality, it comes up for you to be able to face off the fears of that program, which is usually to do with fear, jealousy, victimization, control, all of that sort of stuff. And so it faces off with you in your actual reality. And then you've got an actual position there where you can go into yourself instead of blaming the other person and then integrate what you needed to shift. What power did you not attain to that was yours, always yours, but you gave it away because you decided that someone outside of you was more powerful than you. So that is obviously the shadow work, but there's a soul integration that happens with the shadow work. The reason why we're starting off with this is because you'll have a better understanding of what the time shifts and shifting into timelines and all of that does. So I just realized I haven't even introduced my master classes or anything, so I'll take a short little recess right here, right now. I'd better get that clear, otherwise it will stick in my brain and I won't be able to channel. So master classes are going to be we're going to do the Zoom classes. We've already started last week, but just to let you guys know, anyone that's actually ordered or purchased my master classes, and there's quite a few of you, please come on Friday if you want to. You don't have to. There is a class 7 a.m. in the morning, AEST time. Just wanted to put that out because just in case you guys forget or miss it. Any case, that's happening, and those classes are sold, like they are closed off now. You cannot buy those ones, but I am going to reopen the master classes for the mind and telepathy in August, so mid-August probably. So if you wanted to do the master classes and felt like you missed out, there's going to be some more classes available then. Just had to get that out. Right, let's get back into the actual message, so that I can be really centered into this and channel some good, juicy information as we go along. So, as I've already explained about the soul integrations, part of that is to do with the shadow work, but the other side of that is as you clear away the programmed reality in your mind and you realize that you have more control over this and all of that, what happens is you have a space within your mind or a space to integrate a part of you or that etheric side of you that you never actually got to witness because it was overshadowed by the program. And you trying to fit into the status quo, trying to fit into everybody else's reality. And when you start to take back your power, you start to realize your power is actually entangled. I would rather use that word. They wanted me to use another word, but I'm going to go entangled with you as a whole person. So you start to, it's like it opens up this vortex. If you can imagine it this way, it's not like this because your soul is everything in any case, but you've just been overshadowed by a program. But let's put it in a way where the logical mind can kind of get a gist of this. My team often did this when I wanted to have answer to something that they said, you won't quite understand this, but we'll give it to you in this way so that you can logically understand it. So imagine that you are yourself, right? And imagine that your soul is in a higher frequency. And so that soul is just there as the observer watching everything. And you as yourself has been going along in this life and you've just been doing what everyone else told you to do outside of you. You haven't felt within you at all, and you haven't felt into this higher dimensional aspect of yourself, which is your soul, which is where a lot of wisdom is held. So you've covered it over, and every time you use your imagination or you used your intuition, the outside world told you, do not do that. And so you repressed. Now, as you do that shadow work, what happens is all of a sudden the soul, it's like it bleeds into you. It's like it comes more into you. So now you're walking with more of your soul's awareness. So what happens when that happens is you start to change because you're no longer doing what everyone else expected you to do or thinking what everyone else expected you to think like or create what everyone else expected you to create, be part of that system. You are starting to feel that there is a whole other way of moving through this world. And if your soul comes in, like say your soul comes into you more and more and more and more every time you peel away another layer of that shadow, that program that wasn't really doing you any good and keeping you locked in a limited situation with everybody else. When that peels away, this soul comes in more. So say it was like you were walking as 20% soul before, you would be walking as like 40%. And then the next time you did some shadow work, you'll be 50% soul. And then more and more and more, if you get what I'm saying, until you are really integrating 100% of your soul with you as a whole person, not only as a soul, but also as this physical body, as the logical mind, as everything. But it's when you get to that point of reaching the 100%, going from 80 to 100%, things start weirdly happening. Like changes can happen quite quickly, because you start to recognize the power that you were missing out on before. So things no longer resonate with you that you resonated with in your past. That doesn't resonate with you anymore. That you allow that to fall away. You might go revisit it or something, but if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. It's usually resonated with you because you are agreeing to that program reality or that shadowed part of yourself reality because you wanted to fit in to a certain reality that was built up from when you were a child. And it wasn't actually who you were as the whole person of your soul's integration and understanding and wisdom. So, those past events now need to be seen as just like almost a line drawn where that was me when I was completely asleep or running through the program, and this is me moving into my soul integration. Now, we can't pretend that this has happened, or we can't say to ourselves, oh, that's it. I've integrated all of my soul now. I know everything. And then, something comes up and really bamboozled you. If you had integrated your soul 100% and you knew who you were and the power of you, nothing would bamboozle you. Nothing would upset you as like it did then. It just won't, because you will always see yourself as equal partake in any conversation and any interaction. You'll see yourself as an equal because you're coming from a soul's perspective of understanding that everyone's a soul going on their own journey, and that what they're doing is interacting with you from a wounded place. And so now you can face off with everything of, oh, I see your wound, and you don't take it to heart anymore. You don't take anything like you did before to heart. It literally just doesn't even wash over you. It just doesn't affect you as it did before. And so you'll notice that when you move into integrating your soul more, that you will have this ability to just accept things for what they are, but you're accepting them in different levels of awareness. You're accepting them not just on this playing field. You're accepting them from higher consciousness awareness. So this is important for time shifts. So then they are telling me, so you start to challenge the status quo by moving into and creating what you desire. You don't challenge it by pushing against it. You challenge it by, I know what I want to do now. I know what my passion is. I know I'm going to create that business now. It's my will. It's got nothing to do with what the outside world tells me. You shouldn't try that because you're never going to make it. You're going to fail. Or you're going to, if you try to create that business, no one's going to listen to you. They're not going, but you know in your will, because your soul's now integrated and you're seeing things from higher perspectives. You know this is what you came here to do. So you start to integrate or challenge that status quo by creating the businesses and the opportunities that you really wanted, or meeting the people that you really needed to meet, stepping out and saying, this is who I am. And it gets more and more and more to the point where you're walking through like, you're walking down a path of like the normal world that you're in. And then you're like, even though you're walking down that path of that normal world that you're in, you are, sorry, I just got bamboozled by this beautiful donation. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you, Debbie. That was so cool. Okay, I really need to focus. I've gone red. Thank you so much, Debbie. Okay, I really will need to focus into this channel message. It's so important. Okay, so instead of walking down the path that you normally did, and you would be hiding parts of yourself, and then you carry on, and then you go, I'm integrating more in my soul, and you walk down the same path, all of a sudden they ask you to go, who am I? I am this. I am going to express it out to the world. So instead of walking down that path and then saying, well, I can shift my hat, I can pretend to be like them, no, this is where we're moving. We're moving away from the I'm going to pretend to be like them, and we are moving into, I have integrated my soul. I know thy will. I know myself, and I'm going to be me no matter what circumstance comes up. And so you become the master of your own life. You become an elder within your own respect for your own life. My teens going, we want everybody to become the master of their own world, because in these higher frequencies, you are understanding things from different levels of consciousness. You're not just walking down the path anymore and being integrated into the what everyone else thinks you should be like. You are saying, this is me, this is what I'm born into. My soul knows so much more. My soul knows this. And how do you attain to that? By a balance within yourself, an understanding of both, that you're in the physical world and the spiritual world. You're allowing your spiritual world to become part of your physical world as well. So what happens when that happens? You're actually integrating more love, because your spiritual self is just love. So when you start to bring that in more, you are experiencing your life through the eyes of love more. So you're no longer in reaction to other people's misery and other people's trying to manipulate you or anything. You see yourself as a higher being beyond that. But what also happens with that, and now we're going to get into the time shifts. Sorry, I had to say all that first. Accepting any huge changes as part of your creation, because when we start to integrate our soul more, we're coming into the magical parts of ourselves. And we're also learning to shift our reality like that very, very quickly. So if you did have a problem and you start to see yourself, oh my God, I've been really pinpointing and focusing in on that problem happening. Say, for instance, like for myself, I got a lot of speeding fines and that sort of thing through one camera, and I constantly got them. And then I had this remembrance that I am creator of my own reality, so I can shift this, and I don't have to be in anxious mode anymore because I can shift this. And so I asked to shift it. I commanded my world to shift it, and I didn't know what would happen next. But then you follow just a you follow yourself, you follow a knowing within yourself. This is you learning to trust your soul. So your soul's going, oh, you don't want that path anymore. Yeah, good, because I don't either. So let's find this crack in the matrix that's always been present, because the matrix cannot contain or hold all possibilities. So there's always going to be many cracks in the matrix. And then you can allow yourself to pick up for me, it was pick up the phone and ring the people that were in charge. And normally I wouldn't do something like that. I'd just take it. And instead I rang them out and said, hey, can you guys check your camera? Blah, 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 blah. I think there's something wrong with it. And she was so rude on the other end of the phone. She's just like, well, maybe you shouldn't speed and la, 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 la. And I'm like, okay. So, went back into that victim mode again, but at least my soul had found a crack and then opened it. And whether she went and looked at it, or I don't know what happened, but within the next few months, I got a really good pull to ring them up again and find out how many points I had. And like 9 of them had disappeared. And I was literally going to say to them, what the? And I'm like, don't look, you've shifted your reality. I shifted my reality to this because I am creator of my reality. So if I can shift my reality to this, then why am I questioning it? Because when we're integrating our soul into us more, we start to see ourselves as high at different levels of awareness. We see ourselves as the observer of the program, and even more so than that, depending on how much your soul's journey has been on, that you can remember. If we really, really go back into all of the soul's journeys, we end up becoming just one journey. But it's how much you can remember from your soul's journey in this lifetime. And so then we're integrating those parts of our awareness, and we can shift our reality to that. So what could happen is timelines can shift really quickly. And it was really interesting because timelines can shift really quickly, we can all of a sudden wake up and go, oh, I thought that such and such was part of government, and now they're not. And I didn't even see that they disappeared out of that sort of sector. Or anything, it could be anything. Oh, I thought my toothbrush was yellow, when now it's blue. That sort of thing can happen because you've shifted into another timeline where, but when you are aware of this, you can remember both timelines. It's really interesting and really magical because everything is pliable, but we want to have a strong grounding with this as well, so that we don't lose ourselves in these timeline shifts. But they told me this morning when I was sitting on the bed, I was just looking outside the window, and I had this channeling come through, or this message come through, when I was thinking just lightly about, oh, I didn't know what I was going to actually say in this. So this is what pours through me once I'm here. Anyway, I was just thinking about this morning's show, and I was looking out the window, and I'm just trying to recall this because it was a really profound message. So what they were showing me was, or telling me was, that we can shift our reality in bigger jumps because we have an understanding of that we're creator, and we asked for that to happen. And we ask for a certain shift to happen. And sometimes when those certain big shifts happen, other things move in our reality as well. But we're aware of it because we're masters of our reality, so we can go along with it. But if we're not aware of it, we can literally go crazy because all of a sudden it's rocking our reality. Now, at the same time, these huge crows come flying past and they were squawking really loud. And I was like, oh my God, the world's going to go through some of these shifts, like majority, more of us, like bigger shifts are going to happen. And that's where some people are going to literally go nuts because they never did the work, or the understanding that they're more than just their physical body and their outside world. They never went into their feelings. And so it's going to really rattle their understanding or perception of reality. So when we go through bigger time leaps, like all of a sudden, oh my God, that part of our reality is falling away really quickly to the point where it doesn't make sense anymore. So if you get what I'm talking about, I don't want to say too much in case this gets taken off. But in any case, because, and they were showing me these poles or pods, no, poles of people collectively coming together that had the same vibrational message of wanting to create something beautiful on this planet. And so when more of us start to awaken to that and pull together, become soul tribe families and that sort of thing, when that happens, it's like explosion of light of that creation that they're holding goes out to many more people, which then shifts or warps the timelines of humanity. And one has to be broken down in order for another to come up. Now, you might be a person that just goes through the normal sort of slow, timeline is shifting, and you go through all of the hoo-ha that happens for you. Oh my God, now they're fighting in the governments against themselves, and then this is breaking down and that's breaking down and it's affecting us this way. And then, or there could be that you are coming above that through your own soul's work and bringing your soul in and seeing that, and you jump from one thing to another, so you don't have to go through all the hoo-ha as much. So there's opportunities here for us not to go through the hoo-ha, but we have to already have integrated our soul's understanding, see things from a conscious other levels of awareness, so that when those big changes happen, we don't lose our mind, we don't lose our logical mind, right? We want to go, okay, that's shifted quick, and that's okay. I was off on a holiday at the time, and I was having an absolute bliss time, on an island somewhere, and not focusing in on the worlds and the politics and all that sort of stuff. I wasn't focusing in on any of that. And so now I can, and so now, because I wasn't focusing in on that, when I come back, I see bigger shifts that's happened. That can happen as well, so that you're at least integrating it into your brain without the massive, oh my God. But if you've ever gone online, you've probably seen quite a few people having these little glimpses of shifts that have happened where their timeline has corrupted and gone into past lives or future lives for a moment. They might have had a glimpse of something where they've interacted with their neighbor that doesn't understand what they're talking about because they were jumped into another hot timeline and then come back. That could be because that person has decided from a soul's level, I'm going to give myself a big shift if I haven't attained reasonable understanding of myself as a soul as well by that stage, or I haven't attained an understanding of these different consciousnesses or levels of awareness by that stage. So I'll give myself a real push, and then that'll wake me up, but not too much that I lose my mind. Sometimes they might actually lose their mind because they couldn't handle it. But so it does depend on the maturity and the level of the soul's maturity. Also, I was told that even though somebody could go into their pineal gland, have a massive shift, go into the future a bit, come back, and that's it for the rest of their lives. But it woke them up to other possibilities, which allowed them to move into the spiritual side of themselves. There could be those that, what were you telling me? Something to do with, sorry, I lost my train. I need them to come back because I'll just grab my Moldavite. It's funny, they're saying, see, when you forget like that, it's like you're on one level of consciousness and then you forget because you've dropped yourself into a different level of consciousness. And they wanted to give us that example as well. And so your memory completely goes and you have a feeling or a resonance of it, but you don't actually have it in your reality anymore as something to express or become part of. So yeah, there's all these different little shifts that we can go on, and we might wake up and we've been in our negative Nelly thoughts, and then all of a sudden, or we're being around people that are negative, and then all of a sudden everything starts to feel like it's not working out for you again. And then you could have a shift where you're in this higher frequency and you have more optimism about your life, and you start to see that it shifts and you start to receive messages coming through as well, because when you are connected to your soul like that, that's when these messages come in. But let's go back to the timelines, the time shifts, please. Please give me some more information on that. So we were talking about people that can have crazy experiences because their soul has or had already decided before you were born that that's what you were going to use to shift you or propel you into a higher frequency of understanding or resonating with different levels of awareness. We have to get these different levels of awareness and understanding integrated into us so that we don't go mad when these transitions happen. It could be anything from something little to something really major. And when it's major, and there's more of us that feel into that shift, it's because there's been a bigger jump line or a bigger jump collectively come up. Accept it. They're just saying, accept it for the value that it gives to you, because you will, if you are moving through, if you are bringing in more of your soul and it's just love going on a journey, the shifts that will happen will be beautiful for you. You will see weird things happen or feel weird things happening. I thought I remembered it that way when it's really this way. But if you just accept it, but you see all the other cool things that's come in for you, that's enough, right? Because all of a sudden, I am actually, I actually did meet up with that person that gave me a job in such and such. I did, it ended up channeling in front of millions of people on stage or something like that. You're attaining your goals because your soul already knew before what your goals were to attain. You are bringing in more of that, but the most important thing they're telling me is, please don't get confused with this. Please don't get confused with this. Just accept it for the value that it's gifting you. And so if you do go on a bigger timeline where some people might not notice it, some people might notice the bigger leaps, bigger jumps because they could handle it. And others that do take the bigger leaps and can't handle it, they will get help eventually. They're telling me they'll get help. But it is to do with the maturity or the level of the soul. And some people might will in an experience from their logical mind of ego, and it doesn't match their soul's frequency, so they have the experience, and so they end up losing their identity of who they are. So they might get caught even more. This is why many times, many centuries ago, centuries, yeah, okay, we're going with centuries. They had they had a tribes and all of that sort of stuff that it actually predicted when these times were going to happen, when humanity was going through massive changes, and that some were going to go lose their mind. And it's not just timelines and that jump. That's right. We're going to go back into Earth. Also has her own energy field. When we look at Earth as energy, when we look at Earth as energy, we will see that there's parts of her that change and shift and change and shift and morph. When we see her with our physical eyes, she's just stuck in that position of being a ball of beautiful whatever it is that you have within your reality of what she is, because we are a collective that decides upon that. She's energy that's constantly shifting and changing, and they're showing me you could be traveling down one road, and then all of a sudden you're in a forest, and then all of a sudden you're on a farmland, and you're like, where'd that forest come from? And then you go back and the forest is still there in that moment, but then the next day it's disappeared, things like that. Or it might not be, what they're telling me is it might not be a time shift that happens from your pineal gland out. It could be the time shift that's already morphing with the experience of Earth remembering who she was in, and that she's trying to integrate or bring back parts of herself that she loved. Oh, it gets quite out there, doesn't it, guys? Okay, I think I need a little break. Thank you so much. I'm just going to go. Hey, Nicole, Wade, Emma, Diane, Diana, Jim. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I'm just going to go into moving this. I can't move it. I'm trying to see the message. I'll go back. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Bobbie, for your messages. You have given me at the end of these videos. You'll never know how much this means to me, especially the dark nights of the soul I've encountered so many times. Huge heartfelt gratitude and love to you always. Debbie, thank you so much. That's actually quite a bit of money for me. I'm really impressed with that. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that's been part of this journey. I am so thrilled with how good the masterclasses sold as well. I'm slowly moving my reality into creating this as my main income coming in, and so that I can support myself and give you guys even more and more messages, because when it becomes my main income, I can put more time into it, right? So, and then make even more beautiful videos, bringing through more. Okay. Okay, enough about me, because my guides have just tapped me on the shoulder kind of thing. They are also telling me that when it comes to those that have come off world, and we know ourselves really well, and we start to integrate our souls, or integrate ourselves with our soul, and our memory of who we are as past lives, because you've come from different planets, could be anywhere, Lyrans, Syrian, it could be Blu-rays, it could be anywhere, Venus, could be anywhere. And those sort of frequencies, if your soul comes straight from those frequencies, when you integrate your soul, what you're actually doing is integrating the remembrance of that past life. So for myself, Pleiades feeling comes around me a lot, a lot. And I feel this bliss, this understanding of how we can live in these higher frequencies, because the frequency that I come from as a soul was in those higher frequencies, and it's so homely to me and understandable. And this world isn't understandable, but that world is. And so what they're telling me is that it also, because you're grounding your soul as a Pleiadian or your soul as a Lyran or whatever you are into your body more, you are actually grounding it onto earth more, into this reality, without, because we don't want to lose footing on this reality of who we are either. We don't want to lose the physical footing, the ground, and that's why we're creating these businesses and everything. We're grounding them on so that we can share our experience of who we really are from a soul's perspective with the rest of the world. But it also, because of that grounding, actually allows the grounding of those who are on those planets to be accessible as a physical interaction. So that's how that happens, because they see that we've grounded more of our soul, then they're not so afraid to ground their physical body and soul on this planet to have an interaction with us. But they're waiting for us to build these beautiful businesses and connections with others, that there is no fear game anymore, because we've dropped the illusion of the fear game and integrated the understanding that it's from our will out that we create our reality. And so we're actually, as we bring in more percentages, and remember that was just a way of expressing it to the logical mind that I told you before about the percentages. But when we do integrate more of the percentages of our soul coming through, or it's actually a love vibration that we're attaining to, then we will end up also aligning ourselves with our soul tribe families, and then they feel safe to actually ground themselves and have physical interaction here. But there has to be an understanding of safety net. When we feel safe, they will start to feel safe, because they start to see that they're that a will of that Palladian, Lyran, Venus, whatever it is, Venus, sorry, whatever it is, other planetary alignment can actually hold water or love in this world, and wear that hat wherever you go. So you're actually being the bridge. You're being the bridge for others to integrate or come up with and say who they are. And this is why there's quite a few of us that have been born at the moment that have different agendas within the way that they physically want to appear and all that sort of stuff. They're trying to ground by changing, I don't know, the ears to pointy ears or whatever. They're trying to ground their soul's world into this world by appearing like that, or seeming like that. So there's this integration that's happening within us is actually allowing an expansion for humanity's consciousness to integrate the rest of the world, the rest of the universe, the rest of the galaxy, the rest of all the other planets, and the rest of the world too, because it could be an elemental or something like that you've come straight from the elemental world. So we're integrating that back into our psyche again. This is where the magic happens. We literally have magic. Okay. Right, guys, I will do a couple of readings for people. Excuse my throat. I did do that in the morning. I just go from zero to so much that zero to so much that I actually sorry. Yeah, it tickles my throat after a while. I will open the chat bar for readings. And so if you're going to leave me here, thank you so much for being part of this conversation, this channeling. And if you want a reading that you can, press the link below and to go to my intuitive counseling and readings. And that can, yeah, you can purchase those. Okay. Clear, 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 clear. So we're going to read for, well, we'll read for Debbie first, since, and then we'll go on to the rest of them. Because obviously there's an urgency there. Okay, Debbie. That one wanted to fall. I'm not going to catch it. Okay, sorry. Okay, because this card flipped on the inside and this card was the one that fell. Okay, so what I'm receiving from this, Debbie, is that the one that fell was to be the rebel. This is actually asking you to be more, to actually be more rebellious within yourself. No, to find a will. It's more of a will finding thing here. And it's actually you've been the encounters that happen because of that, or the mind that does this whirly thing to try to get you into, oh my God, that's the only reality that there is, and I have to face this fear and I have to face this. They're asking you to go deep within yourself, deep within your will, and say what is it that the outcome that you really, really desire here? What do you really want to come out with this? Because it's like a will that's coming up, and the rebel is the one that comes out from that. I decide that this is how it's going to be. They're showing me, and I have been showing this a lot just before this reading. There's something that happened to me a lot, quite a few times, and you might have some sort of object or something that gives you power, that makes you feel a bit more powerful. I hardly ever use this dragon sword anymore, but when there is something that really, really needs shifting and I don't feel in my power as much, I center myself, I come to my stillness, I hold my wand, and then I go, for the benefit of everybody around me, I wish this to change. I desire this to change. What's the right word that we usually use? See, I'm not doing it at the moment. It usually just pours out of me. But it's like I command this to change. And I see the lesson that it's given me. I've seen where I've lacked in my own willpower. And now I decide this is not what's going to happen. Because there's this deception card that flipped and went back into the pack. So there could be somebody that's just trying to deceive you, lie, show up as a mask of happiness when they're not behind them. They're actually sleazingly in their mind doing this, but it's like your intuition's kicked in and you're like, I know who I am. Even if you don't know this person here right now, there's some sort of, whether it's a coming through actually as a energetic attack, because you're starting to will up, you're starting to come into your power. And when we do that, it's almost like the last push towards us becoming more soul integrated, more love walking on this reality. Our actual mission is going to take place no matter what. No one could ever keep us down. And when we burst through that bubble, the illusion within our minds, or that energy that's trying to come at us, which also comes from us, because we're saying that we need to attain absolute power within us to be able to break through the bubble of illusion that we never had the power to begin with. And so we conjure up in our thoughts all these things happening, whether it be a physical person or energetic thing happening. We have to say, no, this is anything that's coming at me is the power that I have decided I'm less than. So for me to see it as an equal standing where it has no power, I have to become that powerful myself. Something to do with that. That was huge and that was long, I suppose, because I don't like to favorism, but thank you so much for the money. Okay. Okay, let's get into more readings. Also, anyone that is around, this reading could be for you as well. Just remember that that's hanging around for the readings, and their soul will know whether it's right for them or not to do that. Okay. Flower, 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 standing up for me, flower. A quick reading for flower, please. We have playfulness has fallen out plus trust. So there's a really juicy kind of a thing that they want you to let go of and be more, don't be so serious in this world. That's funny. It's funny when we go through integrations of things and we start to get this wisdom pouring through and we start getting serious with it. Play, and I tend to do that all the time. So be more lighthearted and have more fun. Play with the energies. Integrate the energies through playfulness. And then there's a trust that's going to happen for you to take a leap. But when you leap, they said that this card literally is this juicy pink bottom here means that you're going to leap from your heart into your heart. And so you're going to actually leap into what you really desire, what's really necessary for you. But play a lot more in this at this time. It's going to lift you into higher love frequencies and integrate more of your soul anyway, which gives you that understanding of where you need to leap into your life as well. You're welcome, Debbie. Okay. Who else have we got here? Emma. I'm going to choose another pack for you, Emma. I'm going to grab, for some reason, I want to get my animal, but I also want to get, sorry guys, just mucking around here. I get tarot. Emma. Emma, we have one card that fell and it's the Queen of Pentacles. Look how beautiful that is. Okay. That rabbit's standing out. That rabbit's standing out. So there might be something that you need to follow. You know, like in Alice in Wonderland, something that you need to follow for you to attain the wealth that you know the wealth that you know within yourself is who you are, to actually physically ground that abundance within yourself, integrate it and ground it. There's maybe some sort of message that's coming your way or something that you need to follow up on. They're just showing me the rabbit like running into the hole and then looking back and then going, come with me. So there's something that now your soul, as it integrates, will show you through signs and synchronicities where to go so that you can follow a certain line of understanding that's matching your frequency that you know yourself to be, but it hasn't been grounded yet, as in the wealth or the abundance or the self-nurturing that you've already attained within yourself to now be a actual physical thing for you to show the world, yes, this is the power of who I am. This is the abundance of who I am. Yeah. So there might be something coming for you as in a message. It's funny because I took the animal cards first, and the thing that stood out in the tarot was an animal. Like that. Sasha. Sasha's energy, please. Sasha. One's flipped out, but I don't know what it is yet. Sasha. Okay, Sasha, you have, I like it's just one that's flipping out really easy. The King of Wands. Sorry, I'm actually thinking that this could be somebody else's coming in for you that's of action, of passion, maybe. Oh, okay. They're showing me center yourself, center yourself. If you center yourself, then this will allow somebody of passion, of great passion, to come into your reality. But you need to be centered. You need to stay centered for this to actually show up. It could be a karmic and it could be a soul. I'm not really sure, a soul tribe member. I'm not sure yet. They're not telling me and they don't want to say anything because it could. That there could be somebody coming in for you. It's something to do with your passions and your desires of where you want to go. It might not necessarily be romantic, but they're actually helping you, but it could be. I'm getting kind of mixed feelings there, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. So, okay. Wow, that's perfect. Yay. Okay, Robin. If I've missed you, to say again because it goes up and I can't see who's gone out of the chat bar. Robin. Oh, we got to. I thought it was going to be just one face down again. It's like everything's just happening. So, but it was another one as well. Ooh, Robin, you got the Four of Wands. That's a really good integration card of higher frequencies coming into your reality and being grounded, because it is literally the card of, it can be seen as the card of marriage. So I would say it's an integration. It's at 11:11. They always have the four poles, like 11:11, marking like that understanding of you as a higher frequency as well. But we also have the Page of Cups come in reverse. So you might have like gone, I thought that something was going to come in for me, and it never did. What the heck? Where is it? Why didn't I get that? And like they're showing me, let it fall. Let whatever fall because there's better coming. There's something else is better. As it's like our logical mind has a fixate on it has to go this way, but we need that logical mind to be put in its place to allow our soul to give us a way better outcome. I mean, we've only worked through our logic pretty much. It's been in control a lot. They've actually scientifically, put people's brains in this measuring device, and they can measure right activity and left, and it's always the left that was more than the right. So we've been living that, and all it's done is brought us into more and more misery and more problems and more going around in circles. So this is a shift towards an absolute better reality. So anything, even if you thought it would be a fantastic thing coming in, or you were hoping or you're wishing for, that wish or that might not be granted to you, being that it's in reverse. But let it fall because there's way better coming your way. Oh, that's so cool. So aligned. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, Jenny. I always get your name confused. I know you noticed that. My dyslexic brain cannot see your name. I don't know why. It's like Jenny. Jenny. I'm just going to say Jenny if I can. But I keep seeing Janine, and I know it's wrong. Jenny. Okay, Jenny. Okay, we have actually three. One went back into the pack. One fell flat on its face. Three of Wands. A new adventure wanting to be taken place here. Something of choosing. But we've got Temperance. There's a balance that you need to come into to attain. See, there's a ship. It's like, yeah, is it coming in or is it going? Actually, I feel like it's coming in. A ship coming in and you needing to take a new adventure when the ship comes in, but we need to find balance within ourselves to be able to, when by the time that ship comes in, you're ready. You're ready to let go of what you need to let go of and take the actions through a balanced self. The other card that came out on the other side was the Wheel of Fortune. So that is turning the wheel. Look, it looks like he's at on a ship's wheel, like turning the wheel, like he's actually on the ship directing it. So you are learning to become the director of what ships come into your reality and what ships don't. You are the choice. You choose. You choose. Yeah, you choose now. You choose. So that's literally what I'm feeling with this person. He's choosing, but we have to choose from a balanced state of awareness, a balanced place within oneself. The ships will come in, but then you've got to choose which ones are the right ones for you now. It's really important. Okay, Hannah. Hannah. Don't forget, Tamara, it's this Friday for the masterclasses because I know that you were asking. Go on the page. Go on the page that had everything on it, and go scroll down, and then you will see it's not the first Zoom class because it's the second Zoom class. So yeah, for this date. For Friday. And if you don't know the timeline, because I'm in Brisbane, then there's a time clock on the masterclass page. I think it's the masterclass page. I'll put that on there. Yeah. Okay, Tana, let's get into your reading now that I've said that. Sorry, guys. Tana. Tana, we have no way. Four of Wands have just come out again. So you're learning to integrate more beauty and more love and more excitement into your life as well. But they're showing me, or the feeling that I'm getting from this is literally like a festival, like, yeah, I'm coming together. It's going to be fun. I don't know. There's some sort of festival kind of vibe, celebratory vibe happening there. It's a nice feeling, coming home, recognizing who you are. So, Eight of Cups too, leaving something that doesn't serve you. You've filled those cups. You tried that. You've learned the experience. You've learned the lesson. Thank you very much. You're moving on now into better times. Better times. And also the Ace of Swords fell out for you as well, but it was in reverse. So there could be still, it's a new beginning coming from within the mind. There might be something within your mind that still needs to be looked at. Just adjusted and revisited and let go of an old program that you probably thought was your soul, but it's not. It's actually a program. Something, an intellectual shift of the mind is happening. Okay. Okay, guys. I'll do one more, Christine. Christine. Don't forget, if you want a full reading with me, the links are down below. And masterclasses are up for sale again in August. The Fool, Christine, it's time for you to just, the Fool card is the zero card. It's the one that, you finally like, that's it. I know, I don't know enough about this, and I know that, but I don't know enough about this. I know where I'm going, but I don't know how I'm going to get there kind of feeling. It's a feeling of being in zero void. I don't know everything, but I know where I want to go or I desire. And then taking a leap off the proverbial cliff into that, where people around you will go, oh, what's she doing? But it's something that you need to address from a place of sheer innocence and value of self. Yeah, you have it within you to shine. I don't know why I said that. You have it within you to shine, but you have to be foolish sometimes to actually do that, to actually go on that journey. Sometimes we look at a master that's coming from a place of not being masterful, and then all of a sudden taking on the fact that they are masters of their own right. From an outside point of view, somebody who's still stuck in the mud over here, that person looks like a fool as they move along. So just be aware of that. But when you come from your heart and you take that leap of faith from your heart, you are protected. You are completely protected as you take that leap. And always remember, if you're coming from your heart space, it's going to be okay, even if it looks a bit strange to the outside world or other people around you. Okay, guys, love you, love you, love you heaps. Until next week. No, Thursday. I've forgotten what day it was. So in that soul vibe. Thursday. We will do big tarot or whatever wants to come through, right? I always go with the energies alignment as well. But at the least, it will be tarot, big tarot questions. Yeah. And thank you so much for being part of us and our channeling experience. Until next time.